Hey guys, it is your girl Chelley, and we are back with a special show tonight. You guys are in for a treat. I have a special guest who's near and dear to my heart, you guys. He's a iridologist, he's also a nutritionist, and he's a educator. So for those of you guys who may not know what an iridologist is, it's someone who specializes in the blood vessels in the eyes. So someone that can look into your eyes and basically dissect and identify what may be going on with you on the inside. So, you guys help me welcome my brother, my friend, Dr. Lamar Price. Hello, hello.
Hey, thank you. Hello, hello. How you doing?
How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How's your day going?
It's going good. Listen, oh my God. We have so much to talk about. So many people want to talk to you. So many people want to meet you. But I thought it would be a good way to introduce yourself and just talk through some of the difficult health questions. So before we get into some of the topics, because I did a poll and then I also have texting me questions as well. So do you want to introduce yourself as well? Because no one can introduce you better than you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and start. And first off, thank you, Shelley, for having me on your program today. It's an
Absolutely.
honor, and I find it as a privilege to, be um, appointed and even considered to be part of your circle and your platform. I think it's very important that we educate our people. I think it's important for us to be conscious. We're
Yeah.
living in a day where we're trying to get more and more information out there that's going to empower our people. And I'm just a servant, and I just want to be part of that group. And I thank you for the opportunity. And it's a pleasure to be with you today. So thank you for that. That's what I wanted to start off by saying thank you.
Absolutely. You
A
are
little
really
bit about my background is in internal medicine. Left the medical field. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I went natural. It's a big step. It's not common. It's not popular.
mhm.
It's actually looked down upon in the medical field. I dare you leave medicine, internal medicine, allopath medicine to go do what? Some herbs and fruits and
Yes.
vegetables? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You're leaving $70,000 a year salary for some fruits and vegetables. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love helping people. As a servant, as a a professional in the healthcare, first respond, just being a provider and a health advocate. My job is to help people with information that's going to lead them and guide them in the right direction for whole health, mind, body, soul, and spirit in every aspects, every dimensions of health. And I find it easier in this world to do it because my hands are not tied.
Yeah.
There's no one, enforcing protocol on me. I'm independent. I'm on my own. I'm rogue. So I'm out here helping people to identify the source to their health issue versus doing the protocol in the traditional uh, medicine that where we have to say we're going to diagnose you based on the assessment, and the assessment is going to allow us to treat your symptoms, and we're going to medicate and do surgery. I think because the oath is so valuable and vital,
Mm-hmm.
the oath is to practice prevention, do no harm, medicine and surgery when necessary. Unfortunately, that is not being um, it's not being applied in our world today. The first thing they want to do is just load you with drugs, pump you full of chemicals, go straight to your vein with an IV, and then you find yourself getting worse and not better. And it's just cause, effect, action, reaction. Um, Something has manipulated our minds to give us the impression or the interpretation that this is the right way to go. But if you
Right.
jump off a cliff, something should say in your brain, this is dangerous. We
Absolutely.
don't know the results. Yes, there's water below us, but this cliff is like a mile high up, and we're going to jump and we're going to fall 1 mile down below. What's the chances of us surviving this fall, whether there's water or not? So it's a gamble. And I don't want to gamble with people's lives. I don't want to
Man.
see people, which life is so precious and vulnerable, die on my watch. And what I want to see is people thrive. I want to see people get better. And you caught me at
Yeah.
a very sensitive time because my mom went to a hospital that I was totally against. And They pumped her full of IVs, and it's like they didn't even know what they were doing. And now my mom is gone, and she's been gone less than a week. So
Oh my God.
I'm experiencing it, and the very thing that I advocate for is life. And I'm against people dying. I know we all have to die. We're appointed to die.
But if we
A
don't
lot of
have
people,
with being
yeah,
properly
not
educated,
when God says we shall live and not die. So I went into this practice of natural healing. And you got to use the word healing very loosely, because even though we know spiritual principles say that the body can self heal,
mm-hmm,
in the medical world, there's really no way of saying that you heal or you can be cured or there's a remedy, because of the fact there's patents on all health issues, and every diagnose, every type of disease from AIDS to Zika virus, A to Z, there is a patent. And so I can't come on your program and say, I got a remedy, I can heal you, or I
right,
have a cure. So we have to use these words loosely, but that's exactly what we want to do. We want to help people get better. And the way we help people get
better
better is nature. Nature is natural.
nature.
If you want to naturally heal, let's do
And
things
that's a
natural. And
perfect
that's what I've been
segue,
doing.
Dr. Lamar. I don't want to cut you off, but I know there's some people on. So you guys, if you can drop questions in the chat also, and then I have some folks texting me as well. So I say let's just jump in there and see where
Yeah,
the
yeah. Let's get
things
these
kind of
questions
take
going.
us.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna definitely. I see you on there, Angela. Angela Washington says hi, Dr. Lamar. She'll meet you on Saturday. She's very eager and excited to speak with you. She wants to do the examination as well, so she's there. She says hi, Angela. If you have a specific question, drop it there, and we can talk through it. Um, but I wanted to go through some of the questions that I received from the poll. So I kind of broke it out for like top 2 to 3 questions that men normally ask and women normally ask. So let's start out. Is it a preference? Do you have a preference where you want to start, men or women? Or
No, no. Yeah, we could go. Let's do the men first. They're
okay,
easy. We could get through them. Easy breezy with the men. Women are more detailed. We got to take time with the women.
okay. So Angela is having thyroid problems and she wants to know what she can do with that. So we'll table that, Angela, and we'll come back to it once we get to the questions for the women. But thank you so much. Anyone else who's on the live, please drop any questions that you have for Dr. Lamar. So for the men, one of the questions that I had was, why am I sweating through my shirts every day? And what can be done about that?
So sweating. Why do men sweat? Men aren't the only ones that sweat. Women sweat, and in our community, in the African American community, and let's say melanated community, people of color, we
Mm,
have this saying that we say, "Don't sweat the small stuff." Let
yeah,
it go. Yeah,
yeah,
just let it go. Don't even sweat it. Even if you love Keith Sweat and all of his music, don't sweat the small stuff. So when it comes to sweating, also known as perspire,
mhm,
this is just a fancy way of saying you got water coming out your body. Number one, you're going to sweat if your body temperature elevates. And body temperature, when it goes up, your body heats up, not cool off. So in order for the body to heat up, you need one portion of the body, which is called the brain. Your brain controls your body temperature. Body temperature, when it goes up, you will sweat. Body temperature, when it goes down, you stay cool or you get cold.
makes
So,
sense.
yes, yes. So, the body temperature is controlled by the left side of the brain called the pituitary gland, and a portion of that area is called the hypothalamus. So, when your body temperature goes up and you sweat, there's a few reasons why we sweat outside of being in the hot sun, outside of working out, outside of exercising. If you're just sitting, you're relaxing, and in any given moment, this is for the men, not the women, because we don't want to confuse that with menopause.
Yes.
Menopause is for the women. Um, I don't believe there is a women a pause, because most men don't put women on pause.
Yeah.
The women put the men on pause and like, look, partner, hold up, I'm done. You check yourself. So basically what happens is, um, if you're toxic, if your toxicity levels rise, if you are acidic, your body will heat up. And that's one reason why the body temperature heats up, is because of toxins. And that's on
Mm,
any given moment. I'm not talking a hot day. I'm talking like if you're sitting down in a cool room, you're in a You're in a nice breezy area. Everybody else in the room is cool, but you're the only one in the room sweating and you're very hot and you're perspiring. Normally, it's because of your toxicity levels. You'll find people notice that when they drink alcohol, their
Yes.
blood alcohol levels go up, or
Mhm.
people drink wine, their toxicity levels go up, and it's like, oh, I'm getting hot,
Yeah.
or fear. Fear can cause you to get hot.
Goes right.
If you're nervous, that's your nervous system, your brain. If you're scared, then body temperature can go up. But the guy has to think about what were you doing at the time when you started sweating? What was going on in your environment? What was going on in your mind? So things like that.
Okay.
That'll cause sweating.
Good. That's good. The next one, I guess I can do, this is like a two for one question. The first one is, what can be done about erectile dysfunction? And then what should I do if I'm having pain in my testicles?
Those are good questions. This is regarding men's health, and I also like to say this is very important information for women because women that are single mothers, they have sons, and a lot of these young men have these problems, and the men don't know, and the mothers don't know what to tell their young boys or
Yeah,
older teenage boys. It happens so often that most men don't even complain about it. Most men
that's a
won't
good
even go
point
say
because
nothing.
it's not necessarily geared to an age. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, yeah. It's happening in little boys. It's happening in I think I have a family member. He had the same issue, and he was probably about 11 or 12 years old, and they had to rush him to the hospital. And they call it testicular or testicular for the testicles. They'll call them different issues or inflammation. Now, number one, um, this is a question. If I get two questions from an average man on an average daily basis, out of all the calls I get, the first thing is regarding a man, they're concerned about erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Because that's like, if that doesn't work, that's like a lion that can't roar. And
Mm.
so men don't have, um, sorry, hold on, my phone was ringing. Sorry
Oh,
about
no,
that.
that's fine.
Men don't have mammary glands, so men don't produce milk, so they don't have to worry about breast cancer. Men don't produce uh, an egg, so they don't have to worry about ovarian issues. Men don't have a uterus, so they don't have to worry about uterine issues. So men have what are called testicles, and testicles are known as, in the medical term in physiology, gonads. Gonads in anatomy is the exact same thing for a woman's ovary. So the
Mhm.
woman's ovary is the exact same thing as
As
a
the
testicle.
testicles.
They're
Mm.
the exact same thing. The woman's is on the inside, the man is on the outside. So the
What
man
causes
with
that and what can be done to help prevent that?
the cause is because of negative. For every cause, there's a effect. For every action, there's an equal reaction. So the cause being negative gives a negative reaction. So everything negative would be acidic. So the more acidic a man is in his blood, because see, the penis needs blood to have the erection. You can't have an erection without the blood. It's not about the arousal. It's not about the libido. It's not about the way the brain is functioning. You can have that here mentally, but if it's not working physically, it has nothing to do with the brain. It has everything to
Right.
do with blood flow. So blood flow is everything. So when you're not getting enough blood flow, that's going to happen. One of the things I'm encouraging men to do is to drink a lot of water, 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 water. See, men don't drink enough water. So negative energy, which
Yeah.
is electron molecules, is stored energy. It has potential, but it's negative stored. It needs a host. So that's why so many men need a host. They need something to help them to get the erection. That's why they have a Viagra. They have a lot of drugs, or
Mm.
they have pumps, and they have a lot of things that men can do. But the erectile dysfunction means that the functioning of the penis is not becoming erect or enlarged because of the blood flow. Lack of blood flow. That's all it is. Blood is hydrogen, oxygen. That's what plasma hemoglobin is. Blood is 92% water. A lot of men don't drink enough water. They're drinking sodas, they're drinking a lot of other things, they're putting a lot of chemicals into their body. So, the more chemicals you put into your body, whether it's medicine,
Mm.
multivitamins that are synthetic substances, and me being a chemist major, I can understand why these men have no clue of why they're having this problem at all ages. It's because they're putting supplements in their body. Chemical supplements are acidic. The more acid you have in your body, the more you're going to have this problem. Now, how do you fix it? You just got to change your thinking. Change
Wow.
your thinking, be transformed. And if men can start not worrying about it and let some things go and stop stressing, see, men stress, they hold it in, and then they're going to have these problems. It's
Right.
all about what's going on in the brain, and it's all about what's going on in the body. You got to put water into the body. You got to change your diet, but you're not going to change if you don't change your thinking.
Yeah, so the toxic is tied to all of the negative thinking, the stress, controls the blood flow and all that. So I know you also said, taking different medications and things of that nature. So most men nowadays, they're in the gym, they're taking all of these supplements, the fat burners and the muscle building stuff. So that's a contributing factor as well.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Whey protein. Whey protein is a pre-workout. A lot of people like to do that. A lot of men are big on that because of muscle mass. They want to build
Mm,
muscle. So whey protein is one of the fastest way to build muscle. It's not just an enzyme, a living organism. It's a hormone that comes from the cow. So because cow's blood produces so much milk, I mean the milk, the dairy, the ice cream, the yogurt, the cream, and the coffee, because it produces so much hormone intact, it will allow a baby calf to just explode and blow up overnight. That hormone, if you put it and mix it in with a bunch of chemicals, when these guys take these muscle milk and these shakes, what's going to happen is you're putting so much dairy mixed with a bunch of acidic chemicals while you're building muscle mass. You can have muscles in your neck, muscles in your elbow. You're just a massive amount of a muscle, and
muscle.
you're so slow. But then why is the penis so small? Why you can't get an erection? And that is so common amongst a lot of athletes, a lot of high performer contests. Men who perform in, muscle bodybuilding competitions, I get the calls all the time. I just say, hey, cut back on that dairy. Cows don't drink milk to get big. They drink water. They eat the grass. So
Yeah.
elephants and gorillas. So we could get our men to understand the source to their problem is you are what you eat.
Mm,
Whatever goes into your body goes into your blood, and the blood becomes acidic. You're going to have an acidic reaction, and they call it dysfunction or erectile dysfunction.
oh,
The pain, the pain that people are having comes from the acid. The same source of the dysfunction, which is acid, is the same source that's causing the pain, because pain comes from inflammation. Inflammation comes from acid. So when you're acidic, you're going to have pain in the
mm.
testicles, the penis, the growing, the pelvis area, in your head, in your back. No matter where the acid goes through the blood, you're going to have these problems.
Wow, that is so powerful. So, men that are listening, minimize your stress, drink more water, increase your blood flow. And last but not least, stay off of the supplements. Everything is tied back to your nutrition. That was really, really powerful.
Yeah, just something to think about. Simple information.
And it
I
is
think
simple to
I
think about
think if we could get more women and men to know this, this is vital information. It's monumental because we die for a lack of knowledge, not erectile, not prostate. A lot of men don't even understand that prostate. Those are the two things I'm going to get from most men is a prostate question or erectile. That's it, nothing else. Men don't care about their nails, their feet. They don't care about their hair. I don't get men calling me, I have alopecia. I never get a man call me about that. I don't get men say, oh, I'm lupus. I got thyroid issue. No, I'm getting two things, prostate and erectile. That's all they want to know is that's how you get a man.
exactly.
So the prostate is a gland, Shelley, and that gland helps to produce semen. That's all it
So
does.
before you
You
go
have
there
a
really
dude.
quickly, I just
Yeah.
want to get your feedback on the
Mhm.
response that's given once you tell the men, lay off of the
Oh, yeah.
lay off of the supplements. Like, what is the response? Because in their minds, they're thinking that's the right thing to do.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So what is the response? Are they receptive to you saying you got to change your way of thinking, you got to change, your nutrition, or what is the response?
Yeah, it's grand. The response is huge. It's big. Everyone is happy. Everyone is excited. They said, man, I got an erection. Man, it stayed for an hour. Man. There is nothing but positive response. And they all say, I can't believe it was that simple. I
That's
was told I was told that I had to jump backflips and do somersaults and I had to do this procedure and that, take this drug, that drug. You just told me to do one simple thing and I did it. And I have hundreds of men calling me, thanking me, their wives are thanking me, their partners are thanking me. So yeah, it's just keeping it simple.
Knowledge
That's
is
what it is.
power.
Simple. And knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. So I'm sorry I cut you off. I know you were
No,
talking
it's okay. It's all
great.
right. The prostate, really fast on the prostate. I want everybody to hear this, especially women. Women, share this with your brothers, your sons, and your fathers. Share it with the men in your life or men that you know, even on the job and strangers. That the reason why Black men are the leaders of prostate cancer is because the normal size of the prostate gland registers with a PSA reading for the prostate standardized assessment. That reading is 4 centimeters. And if you don't understand where it came from a 5'6" white man, a Caucasian man that stood 5'6". He was a short guy. He had
Wow.
a tiny waistline. His waistline is the normal standard for the BMI, body mass index.
Mm,
So if your waistline is around 22 inches to 24-inch waistline, as of this guy, he had a small frame. Anybody that's over that is going to be overweight, obese, morbidly obese.
wow.
But for a woman, you have to be a zero, petite, or a size 2 to be the normal body mass index. And
Right.
that's how they come up with the sizes. Well, if the man's penis was very, very small and his prostate gland was very, very small and it registered at 4 centimeters, what do you think that does for Mandingo, African, Black man?
Absolutely.
So who are the leaders of
Wrong
prostate?
because it's bigger than 4 centimeters. Wow.
So who's the leaders of prostate? Black men. And they don't educate the Black men that frequent urination, that's how they get you. Are you having frequent urination? Yes, you got prostate. Are you having erectile dysfunction? Yes, you got prostate cancer. So an enlarged prostate is called prostate cancer. But in order for a man to have an erection, the prostate gland has to enlarge. It
Yeah.
has to every single time. So now look at how all these men think that they got prostate cancer and they don't. So it's just all about knowledge and educating us. We got to do this.
That is so powerful. You hear that, you guys? Knowledge is power. So let's jump over to the women for a second. Angela says she's having problems with thyroid. What can be done about that? What can she do about that?
Okay, so that's a good question. Thank you, Angela, for that question. If you want to solve a problem, you first have to identify the source to your problem. So by identifying the source and you really understand what it is, then you can just get rid of the source and then the problem disappear. So when you say you have a thyroid problem, that means you're having some type of reaction, some type of symptom. So if Angela does this, and this is going for every woman who's been diagnosed with a thyroid issues, there's three classifications for thyroid dysfunction or issues. That would be hyper, hypo, or
Mhm.
Hashimoto. And I guarantee you, none of these women have met Hashimoto. He's in Japan, or he was in Japan. He didn't give you anything to claim. Um, these women, they need to know that hyper and underactive and overactive doesn't mean anything because you did not get educated by your doctor, your glandular doctor, your endocrine doctor did not tell you for 1 second that the thyroid gland, it has nothing to do with your symptoms. Ask a woman if you're
Wow.
suffering from thyroid issue. Chelley, just ask them, well, what's your symptom? Because I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a professional, but let's just reason. Let's use some critical thinking. You're
Mhm.
having a thyroid problem. What's your symptom? Tired, fatigue, low energy, my vision, the way I feel, pain, discomfort, dizzy, headaches. All you have to do, Chelley, is say, well, your thyroid doesn't have anything to do with those things.
Yeah, I would
Um,
think so.
yeah, body weight. I can't lose weight. I'm gaining weight. These are tricks. These are tactics to deceive the person as a
Y'all hear
patient.
this? These are
Yes,
tricks,
yes,
guys.
they're tactics. It's just all about tricking, deception to make you think you have a thyroid issue. Because guess what they're going to do? They're not going to say go home and eat some parsley.
They're
Now,
gonna get you a medicine.
I studied nutrition, so I know anatomy and physiology. The thyroid gland, it's a butterfly gland, and it has a parathyroid right behind it. That gland, part of the endocrine system, glandular system, needs parsley. Parsley keeps it working at 100%, both the
Wow.
parathyroid and the thyroid gland. Parsley is the nutrients and minerals that helps you to keep a healthy functioning thyroid. Now, did the doctor offer you parsley or did they give you levothyroxine, which you have to be on the rest of your life because they're going to make so much money on this drug? But did they educate you that you don't even have a symptom suffering from thyroid? So let me tell you really quick so we can move on. Chelley, guess what the thyroid does?
What?
One thing. It produces a cell for your immune system.
That's it? Wow. Angela, you hear that? Parsley. Parsley will help. But did you hear what Dr. Lamar just said? It produces a cell for your immune system. Wow. They make this thing to be bigger than what it is. Tamika just said my mother has thyroids and her weight is up and down. Tamika, tell your mom to use parsley. This is
No,
powerful, you guys. T Mac is
but
saying
and,
great
and even better
information.
than that, Chelley, what made her think that it was a thyroid issue? Thyroid has nothing to do with her weight. She gains weight because she's eating too much. She's
Yeah.
eating the wrong things that holds on to weight, stored energy, negative energy. Mom needs to change her diet. The thyroid doesn't cause you to gain weight. The thyroid doesn't make you lose weight. Thyroid has nothing to do with weight control or weight loss. Your thyroid produces a cell called a T cell that's for the immune system.
Did you guys hear that? It's for your immune system.
Has
Wow.
nothing to do with weight. But
We're
we have been
blown away,
brainwashed.
Dr. Lamar.
Yeah, we've been
Mac
brainwashed.
said great information. Thank you,
Yeah,
T Mac. If you have any more questions from a man's perspective, a friend of a friend, drop it here.
yeah.
Dr.
And
Lamar is the man.
one thing that I will never do is disrespect your platform. So I'm not going to give you my opinion.
Yeah,
To be opinionated doesn't help anybody. We don't want opinions. We want facts. The truth
fact.
has made us free. I want Angela and I want all of these people that are listening to know that they can walk in freedom and victory because God says you're already healed. God says we're
No, he
fearfully and
is.
wonderfully created. If we're fearfully and wonderfully created, and God said, worry about nothing, be anxious for nothing, let every man be a liar, and let God be true. How on earth are we taking advice from people who did not consult with God, who created the thyroid?
Amen.
We never got educated. So we just have to ask some serious questions and stop saying, well, what would be my symptom? Weight gain. That's your thyroid. No, I'm eating a lot of bread.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm stressed.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Powerful. I'm taking notes too. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm trying to think, do I want to jump back to the poll or if I want to jump to this text? I got a good one that came in here. Um, the question is, with the astronomical expense of health insurance, many families are unable to afford it. Can you speak to that and maybe give a little information about access for listeners seeking coverage?
Yeah, so I will consult with affordable healthcare providers. There's a lot of them out there. Medical billing is an astronomical billion-dollar industry,
Yes.
and they're going to bill medical. Medical is getting from taxpayers. It goes into an account. Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on.
Okay. Good information, you guys. So, Angela, Tamika, the thyroid is really just a cell that goes to your immune system. So, you guys eat as much parsley as you can, mix it with some different things, put it in some of your different foods. This is really, really good information. I know, right, T Mac? He's dropping gems. See why I love him? He's absolutely amazing. No more stress, Angela. No more stress.
Yeah. So when it comes
They
to
say you
medical,
dropping gems, Dr. Lamar. I told him that's why we love you. You speak the truth and like you said, facts.
yeah, and I thank you all for listening. Thank you all for listening. The when it comes to medical billing and medical insurance, the best insurance is yourself. Insure to yourself that I'm going to eat healthy. Because if you eat healthy and you live healthy, you're not going to need a hospital or a doctor unless it's a 911 emergency, a car accident, something tragic, something unexpected. But medical insurance to get affordable and get the right type of plans, I would talk to medical billing, talk to a policy companies that handle that type of issues. Doctors in the hospital, I worked ICU, I worked the ER. I never worried about medical billing. I never looked at medical billing. We're not trained in medical billing. We're trained to write a signature and get you a prescription. So that would be
See?
my range. It's not my lane to
Okay.
talk about who's better and who's not. So I just want to be honest and fair. I did give my best advice that I would give is to, you know, check that out.
Okay. No, that was good. That was good. We had another question. Um, she says, I had my gallbladder removed last year and I've actually lost a lot of weight and use the bathroom constantly. Is that normal? The doctors could not tell me why. There was a gallstone blocking my liver, but also stated that it wouldn't impact anything should I continue to eat the same.
Okay, so gallbladder removal. She obviously, this happens all the time. They go to the doctors, asking for help. My stomach hurts. I'm having pain in my lower abdomen on the right side of my body, where the gallbladder is located. Something's going on. I'm in severe chronic pain. The doctors will run scopies. They'll run all of this camera, and equipment to see what's going on, endo and gastro. The gastro doctors, the first thing they, in most cases, and I'm not throwing shade on the medical field or industry, I'm just giving you the facts and the truth. In most cases, they're going to do surgery before prevention. We want to practice prevention. Number one, we want to do no harm to the human body. But the first thing we're going to do is cut you, gut you, and medicate. So, unfortunately, when they take your gallbladder out, which is a very vital instrument, a very vital um, very, very vital organ for digestion.
Mm-hmm.
The gallbladder was put there by God, who fearfully, wonderfully knew better than humans, smarter than humans. He knew you needed a gallbladder. It has to function. Even though you can live without it, they're going to remove it and make $40,000. They're going to bill your medical 40,000. When they take your gallbladder out,
See what this is all about, guys? Money. Did you hear what he just said? Money.
we're
Wow.
not using critical thinking.
So
We're not using deductive
$40,000
thinking.
for one gallbladder.
That 40,000, they'll remove it, and then they get paid and leave you without a gallbladder. And then down the line, where you're having issues with your weight, issues with you're having issues with digestion, and you can't gain weight, is because now you lost a vital functioning that the gallbladder helps with absorption of nutrients. So you're
Wow.
eating, but you're not gaining weight because you don't have a gallbladder. They help with the absorption of nutrients, the breaking down of the food, to remove the waste particles so the waste can go into digestion. And that's why gallbladder is part of digestion. Help breaking down your food and removing the toxic waste and producing a bile that'll help regulate, the nutrient levels. And it's all
Right.
for a reason. It's you need it, even though
So
you can
going
live
back
without
to healthy
it.
nutrition, and you really don't need to have,
Yeah, so
you
have
know,
these people reach out to me so I can give them some alternative ways of getting their weight back on track, or whether it's low weight or overweight, I can help that person.
okay. Yeah, I'll make sure she's here on Saturday too. At least three people that's on the live will be here to get their examinations done. I'm kind of going off course, which is good, but I knew this was going to be like power hour and we would kind of be all over the place. I know that I have some listeners on here who struggle from sugar diabetes. And what was the other one? Let's stick with sugar diabetes. Can you talk to us about that and what that really is and isn't? Are you frozen? There you go.
Um, let's talk about the medical condition. It's not called sugar diabetes. That's just a new common way of, saying things, changing the interpretation of it. It's
Mhm.
really not diabetes. Diabetes mellitus is the medical term. So you're taking two words, one is Greek, one is Latin. Well, one thing you don't want to do in language is mix
Mix
two
the 2.
different languages together, because now those not a compound words. See, compound words are words that go together, they flow together, two words that come together that make sense. Although, therefore, someone, likewise,
Yeah.
anyway. So these are two words,
You better
diabetes.
preach.
So if you break down the word, even the creator has told us to study to show yourself approved, rightly divide the words of truth. So if we want the truth about it, we have to look at the word diabetes. Where did the source or the origin of the word come from? It's Greek. So
Right.
diabetes in Greek means to pass, to divide, to dissect, to obtain something, to cipher. So when you're mixing to obtain, to receive, or to get something, that word diabetes in Greek, and you mix it with the Latin word sweets or sugar. Basically, if you walk up, Chelley, into a Greek restaurant and say, "Excuse me, diabetes mellitus," they're going to pass you some sugar. So when we're saying diabetes or diabetes mellitus, what organ are we talking about? We're talking about the pancreas. Now, once again, just like the thyroid, what are your symptoms? And then ask yourself, does the thyroid have anything to do with it? No, so I don't have a thyroid problem. They just convinced me, brainwashed me, made me
Wow.
manipulate that I do believe that I have a thyroid. As we speak, as we think, so are we. So God is going to say, who told you you were diabetic? Who told you you were hyper or lupus? Who told you this? Who told you you were naked? So what we need to do is question, what makes me a diabetic? The doctor
What are
will
the
read
symptoms?
and say dry mouth, thirsty, frequent urination, um, tired, fatigue, your vision. They can see your feet, gout, neuropathy, gangrene, get your feet cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's so many symptoms that diabetics complain about, which are physical things, literal physical things that are happening to the body. All you gotta do, critical thinking. What does my pancreas have to do with any of that?
Nothing.
Pancreas doesn't control urine.
Wow.
Pancreas has nothing to do with your taste, your thirst, your dry mouth. Pancreas don't have nothing to do with your toes. Just because your toes turn black and your feet and you get them cut off because of gangrene and gout neuropathy, pancreas doesn't do that.
Doesn't
Tired
do
and fatigue, not the pancreas. So see, we're just being misled. But what they will do is give you metformin, which is from the blood of the pig. And once you get that metformin with all of the negative side effects, you will start to see more of these symptoms that people are complaining about. So
wow.
the pancreas needs
I'm
potassium.
having a
Remember
lot
they
of
say the
people chime
potassium
in
is the
about
pancreas.
the gallbladder. So, you guys that are just chiming in, if you had your gallbladder removed, that's a procedure that is not necessary. It goes back to your nutritional diet. That was a good,
Absolutely.
yeah. A lot of people
Absolutely.
commenting about the
Yeah.
gallbladder.
Yeah. And do you know what you just did? You did not give your opinion, you gave the facts.
Yes.
You never have to have your gallbladder removed because the body self heals. All your organs will regenerate, all your organs will heal on their own. Why did they take it out? How come the doctors did not allow you to practice patience? How come they did not allow you to just let time heal? Time
Yes.
heals all wounds. How come they didn't just say, wait, just wait, and you'll be renewed and restored? We gotta cut it. We gotta cut it, cut, cut, cut. They make the money, and then once they remove these body parts, we're having problems. The pancreas, unfortunately, you cannot take that pancreas out. You won't survive. So they don't take it out. They just say you have something wrong with it, and they put you on meds.
Wow. That is, oh my goodness, that's the biggest deception. Just not really understanding and just not having the knowledge. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is strokes. Like I know so
Hmm.
many people that have had strokes, and in speaking with you, a lot of it is caused by not only the diet. We keep talking about the diet and nutrition, but the medication. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because we're really being
Yes.
deceived with the strokes, and I know folks who have had 2 and 3 and 4 strokes.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to everybody who's dealt with this, or people who have dealt with neuropathy, people who have dealt with atrophy. You know, they
Mhm.
don't have activity of their limbs anymore because of the stroke, seizures. So, stroke, seizures, anything that's epileptic, anything that's neurological, and you all can. Be comforted in the information that I'm giving you is accurate because I've opened up the human brain 3 times. I've dissected the brain. I studied neurology or neuroscience for 3 years, actually 6 years, and then 3 years in clinical. So the interesting thing about the brain is that the brain is a major, major, mighty, mighty, beautiful instrument created by God. And
Yeah.
it has 100 billion brain cells. The brain can formulate a thought in half of a second, which is a millisecond. The brain has a capability of creating 600,000 thoughts a day. The brain can also hold 600 trillion terabytes worth of information. The brain is 80% water. The human brain is 80% water. That water is called in the medical field cerebellar fluid. And the brain is like spaghetti noodles, the actual matter, the meat of the brain, the white meat, white matter. That brain sits in that water. And if water is your brain, 80% of the brain is water, water is hydrogen, oxygen. Guess what happens when people don't get enough oxygen? They don't get enough hydrogen. They're not getting enough nutrients, potassium, calcium, vitamins, and vitamin D,
Mhm.
and living enzymes that the brain is looking for, omega 6, 3, 9s, and 12. If you're not getting enough of these things to the brain, what's going to happen is that you're getting a deficiency. A
Yeah,
deficiency in the brain goes up under. Guess what happens? The acid gets into the bloodstream. Once acid hits the brain, you're going to have an acidic reaction, and that's what we call stroke, seizures, epileptic, aneurysms. You know, anything that's a dysfunction of the brain is going to be because of acid. Acid is the source of all of these issues. Dementia, that's mucus. Mucus gets hard, it turns into plaque. Now you can't remember nothing because the memory is in your hippocampus. And that's, like I said, 600 trillion terabytes worth of information, but you can't remember where you put your keys. You can't remember where you put your cell phone, who you were going to call, what's your next thought, your focus, attention, working memory, long-term memory. So mucus turns into plaque. The plaque on the brain is Alzheimer's. Before it's plaque, it's a mucus. The mucus is going to cause dementia. Unfortunately, the more acidic the brain becomes, the less oxygen, less hydrogen. So when there's not enough nutrients and you become acidic, now you're talking seizures and strokes. Well, guess what, Chelley? All medicine is acidic. That's why if you look at the side effects to linsidepril, look at the side effects to amlodipine, look at the side effects to linsarta, thyroxine or levothyroxine, look at Dilaudid, look at Keppra, look at the atopamate, look at all of these drugs that we are
any
on.
of my listeners that are out there that are on any of these medications, they are harmful for you. They are no good. Discontinue those medications. You guys need to reach out to Dr. Lamar. I love you back, Monique. And you guys need to get an examination. It's all going back to your nutrition. This is so powerful. So
Yeah,
powerful.
this is an eye-opening platform. This subject matter, this content today is just helping people to think.
Yeah.
There's a
I know
right
what
way
I
and a
had a
wrong way.
question.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
please. No,
Didn't
no,
mean to
please.
cut you off, but when you talked about the brain sitting in water and things of that nature, so when a doctor says that you have too much fluid on your brain, so I would
Mhm.
naturally think that there's more water than normal. So it's basically acid or the toxin that's on the brain.
No, no. When they say fluid on the brain, I'm a neuroscientist. I never understood that terminology or interpretation of that type of phrase. What do you mean there's fluid on the brain? My brain is fluid. It's 80%
Right.
water.
Yes.
So they
That's what made
use
me ask that
terminology.
question.
Yeah, they use terminology, they use word and verbiage that is confusing. Well, the devil's the author of confusion. He's the father of lies. If God says he fearfully, wonderfully created my brain, and for me to cast all my cares up to him and worry about nothing, be anxious for nothing, and change my thinking, think on things that are true, just good report, virtue, and praise. If I keep a positive attitude, my body's going to thrive. If I'm drinking plenty
Amen.
of water and I'm not defiling my temple, touch not, taste not, handle not any unclean thing. If I'm not putting poison in my body, then my brain should not be having a stroke or a seizure. And all of the fluid on the brain, I've heard of brain aneurysms and blood clotting, and the vessels in the brain open up and bleed, internal bleeding of the brain. You can die. But a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense to me. It never has, it never will. And I don't have answers for a lot of that fluid on the brain. What I do know is that these strokes and seizures are direct results of toxicity levels being too high. I studied toxicology, and when I studied that, toxicology is just the study of toxins, chemicals, synthetic substances. It's all, once again, acid. If you are acidic, you will have an acidic reaction, and a stroke and a seizure is an acidic reaction, not blood pressure. Your heart did not make your brain have a stroke. Your heart can now, no way
Doesn't make
can
sense.
the heart can't do that because guess what controls your heart?
The
Your
brain.
brain controls the heart. Your heart doesn't control the brain. So how can the heart, or what they call high blood pressure, cause a stroke or a seizure? Once again, these are things we need to question and think about.
No, this is good stuff. So we had a couple comments. One person says, "Are you an advocate for alternative medicine to treat cancer, specifically cannabis oils?"
Well, when it comes to cancer, this is just my view on it. I studied the word cancer. I know where it came from. It came from 1850, a German scientist. He took the word and referred the word cancer, cancer, to our lymphatic system, our white cells,
Mhm.
leukocytes, T cells, B cells, NK, mono, neutral. lymphocytes. And so what he's saying is that the white cells are the cancer cells, not the red blood cells. Unless the white blood cells have access to the red blood and cause problems, then they're going to say that's called leukemia, cancer of the blood. But there's over 100 different cancers. So when people say, well, what do you do for cancer? How do you treat cancer? What's your alternative? Or do you have a cure? I say, no, I don't have a cure for cancer. I don't have an antidote. I don't have a remedy. I have no answers for cancer. They say, well, why not? Well, because the word cancer, the 1850 German scientist took it from a Greek citizen who, born a Greek, but he became a Roman in the year 57 CE, Common Era. That's when Rome took over from the Greeks. And so this Greek guy named Cellulus created the word cancer, and he was referring to lumps on the bodies like growths, tumors, cysts, boils, something that is known as carcinoma. What he did was he derived the word cancer, cancer, from the Latin, cancer is Latin. It came from the Greek word carcinoma, which is from
Oh,
Hippocrates,
wow.
400 BC, and
There
he
you go,
wasn't
mixing two
talking about the blood
words.
cells. Yeah, so see how they've taken the word over generations and took the word cancer from carcinoma, and then by the time the 1850s come around, one man's opinion says, oh, it's the white cells. They're bad. They're out of control. They're growing out of control. They're elevating in their count. They're mutating. Well, white cells multiply, red cells don't. Guess who did that? God, the creator,
Yes,
designed white cells to multiply. So anytime in the medical field, oncologists, when they see the white cells grow, they're going to say that that's cancer. Is there a cure for that? Well, can you find Santa Claus?
yeah.
Can you
There
go
you
to the
go.
North Pole and find Santa Claus? But guess what? You and I can create a foundation on research for Santa Claus, and we'll make billions of contributions of dollars on the research. We can even find a reindeer with a red nose, and we can dissect it and do tests and run trials and treatment, and we can make trillions of dollars on this concept, but
That
we'll
part.
never solve it. That's why there's no cure for cancer. So when people say, how do you treat it?
You
I
can't
treat
you can't treat something that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah, I treat it because as if it doesn't exist. So what do I do to help people? I just say, hey, eat healthy, change your thinking, change your diet, eat healthy, drink more water, more fruits and vegetables. And ironically, everybody that's diagnosed with cancer, they follow my advice, and guess what? They go back to the doctor and they can't find the disease, and there's no cure for it. So you got to be careful how you say what you say and do what you do.
That part. That's good. So Monique, did you hear what Dr. Lamar just said? Monique says she's trying to come off of all of her medication. She's taking 8 pills a day. Throw them away.
Yeah.
Get an
Yeah. Well, tell her to get
examination.
in touch with me.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell her to get in touch with, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. So I can help her to wing. There's a way you wing off. There's a way you come off, because if you take the medicine away, what are you going to give the body when it was used to getting it every day? You can replace your medicine with food. Let food be your medicine. Let medicine be your food. So it's all about nutrition. Yeah. So it's the right way to do it. So tell people to reach out to me, and we'll make sure we get my number out.
I definitely will. That's good stuff. Um, Continue to keep the questions coming, guys. So we'll jump back over to the women. What is a normal smell for the vagina? You guys keep the questions coming. Don't be shy. What is a normal smell for a vagina? We're jumping back to the women.
That's an excellent question, because there are 7.6 billion people on the planet. In America, we have 333 million Americans.
Mhm.
If you divide the men from the women, um, because no two people are the same, everybody has a different chemistry and a body makeup. Uh, there's no normal. So if God doesn't judge two people the same,
Mhm.
nobody has the same fingerprint. What's normal?
That's
It's
true.
basically what's normal for that individual. So
Right.
that individual needs to know, how do they normally, in most occasions, daily, how do they smell?
Mhm.
It should be odorless, but
Yes.
if there's a smell, then that's an indication that something's going on. If you feel burning, itching, discharge, and the odor, that's waste coming out. So waste comes out one direction, and that's by your colon. So your colon is the first channel of elimination. It's an exit for toxic matter and fecal matter and waste to come
Mhm.
out. But if you're blocked in your colon, the second exit is your uterus. So if there's an odor, I'm almost 100% certain, and I say almost because there are isolated cases.
Yeah.
I'm certain that that is called metabolic waste, and it's coming out of the uterus, and that's why there's an odor. Water will help with that. A good flush. Great great grandma used to dish. You know,
Yeah.
they used to use the vinegars, and they had those bags sitting up in the bathroom, and we never knew what it was. We used to play with them, but yeah, just hygiene is very important.
Yeah.
Hygiene is very important.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So you guys definitely drink plenty of water and flush, as Dr. Lamar said, and it's a individual situation in terms of what is considered to be normal. It everything seems to tie back to nutrition, is what I'm finding. The next question is there anything I can do about PMS? I have terrible mood swings and feel really depressed for weeks at a time before my cycle.
Yeah, that's a common question. I get a lot of that too. A lot of women are having issues prior to the cycle, starting their flow, starting just so you know your cycle never stops. It's a wheel that never stops spinning. It's in alignment with the universe, it's in alignment with the planets, it's in alignment. The woman's uterus is in alignment with the rotation of the sun and the earth. The earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour in one direction. The earth never slows down, the earth never stops. So the woman cycle never stops. It's ongoing, it's continuous. The reason why they're feeling a certain kind of way with their mood, their mentality, their feelings of emotions, because this is hormonal. When you have a hormone imbalance, you will be depressed. When you have a hormone imbalance, you could get angry. You could get, all kind of issues can happen. So, what I would like for women to think about is cleansing and detoxing. If you clean out your blood, you detox. I have so many women that said, ever since I've been on your detox program, I'm happy.
And let me tell you, you guys, I am myself and my husband is on Dr. Lamar's detox, and it is amazing. I sleep better, I have more energy, I'm flushing more frequently than before. It's just great. It's really great. So before we end, Dr. Lamar will give his information. You guys be sure to get an examination, and I have never seen anything like it. Like I said at the beginning of the call, before you guys jumped on, he's an iridologist, and that is someone who can look into your eyes, look into the blood vessels, and identify with what's going on with you on the inside. So very powerful. I advise you guys to book an appointment and get your examination done. Um, Let me jump back to the next question. Sorry about that. I just went from one thing to the other. Once you
No,
started
this
talking
is
about
great. This is great.
that
This
detox
is great.
is good.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Um,
We're toxic. And when you're toxic in your blood, it affects the way you act. It affects the way you feel. That's why so many people have road rage. That's why we have bad relationships and marriages. That's why we have broken promises, unlawful, unfaithful. People don't care about principle. What matters the most to people to love one another. You can't love when you're acidic, but when
mm,
you're alkaline, you can love. When you're alkaline, your money is going to be strong. You're going to be fruitful. You're going to multiply. When you're alkaline, you're happy. You're celebrating life. But when you're acidic, you're busted, disgusted. You're going to complain. You're going to murmur. You're going to bicker. You'll have bitterness, unforgiveness, and it's just your world is just a circle because acidic is doubled. It's acidic,
mm.
double. It's a double negative. It's negative. So when you are acidic, you think negative, you think acidic. A double-minded person is unstable in all your ways. So when people are having problems in life and they can't get ahead, and it's just a circle, and you stay broke, you stay sick, and you just die. And it's just a hashtag between your time you're born and die. It's what it was it worth. Life is a vapor. So let's get people alkaline because when you're physically alkaline, mentally, emotionally, mind, body, soul, spirit, all four parts, the dichotomy of who you are, you're going to thrive. You're going to celebrate life. And when you walk into a room, you're going to light it up because you're alkaline, which is positive energy.
I love that. So we all have to detox and alkaline, you guys. I absolutely love it. One last question, and then I will let you give out all of your information.
Okay, great.
What's the protocol for pap smears after a hysterectomy?
So after hysterectomy, which I'm totally against, I don't believe that anyone should be taking and cutting on a woman's uterus. The woman's uterus is a house, one of the most precious, monumental things that God has ever created. I compare the woman's uterus to the creation of the universe and all of the billions of planets that circle the sun. I compare the uterus to just God, who He is, His sovereignty. Is unexplainable. There's no limit to, there's no words to explain, because this is where life begins.
Yes.
This is where life is stored. A woman has ovaries inside of the uterus. She has a fallopian inside of the uterus. She has a urethra that runs through the uterus. She has 900 million nerve cells that pass through the uterus and rivers of blood. And it's an amazing world. I've dissected the uterus and I've seen all through it and every parts of it, every functioning of it, from the top, the mid. It's like a 3-story house. And when I tell you that it's 3 by 5 and it's amazing, amazing organism. Why did we let the doctors cut? Why did we let the doctors go in where God said, don't defile the temple, thou shalt not cut on the flesh? And they say, oh, well, I had to have a hysterectomy. Well, basically, they made $25,000 off of you. They took your ovary, it had a bunch of eggs. Those eggs become human beings. What did they do with the eggs? Because they didn't give them back to you. They're
Yeah.
probably in a lab somewhere reproducing people on your behalf in test tubes. And now there's hundreds of little kids running around. They'll have your chromosomes, and you're sitting there without a thinking
Powerful.
you don't have a uterus. It's crazy. So pap smears. I'm totally against pap smears, like I'm totally against hysterectomies. I don't believe that anybody should be messing with anybody's uterus and messing between their vajayjay. That's their partner's business. Let the partner be pap smear.
Yeah.
I'm serious about that. Let
No,
the
I know you're serious, and I'm with you on that.
let your
I'm trying
partner
to
be
change my thinking too.
let your partner be your pap smear. If you can't check it yourself, have
I think
somebody
your headpiece may have gone out a little bit.
can
You
you
sound
hear me?
far away a little bit. I can still hear you, but you just
Hear
sound
me?
a
Is
little
it
far
better?
away.
How's that?
A little bit better. It sounds like tunnelish.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's the reception where I'm at. So basically, I believe that people should heal from the inside out. We
Yes.
heal from the inside out, top down, inside out. So if we can change our thinking and stop being scared and nervous and letting people take advantage of our lack of knowledge, letting people mess with us on the inside and take care of it. It's your house. Clean your own house. Sweep around your own front door. So clean out your uterus by water, fruits, and vegetables.
Yeah.
You don't need examinations because they never did pap smears on any of the millions of slaves that Columbus brought here on 3 different boats, round trip, trip after trip in the 1490s when he was leaving Ghana, Africa, and bringing them to America. They never did pap smears on the women. There's not in the Quran. There's no mention of pap smears from Bereshit to Hebrew, which is
Wow.
Genesis to Revelation. There's no mentioning of pap smear in Egypt on hieroglyphic no mention of
Wow.
pictures under the Persian Babylonian reign of Xerxes. Why are Black women are leaders of ovarian and hysterectomy
Hysterectomies.
and uterine issues? Why are Black women the leaders of all health issues, thyroid, hypothyroid? Or why are Black men and women the leaders of all health issues? We got the best bodies. Guess who has the best uterus? The Black woman, because God said, be fruitful and multiply. He told his people to be fruitful and multiply. It's a scientific fact that Black women can produce so many kids. We're the
Wow.
nation, but we're the smallest nation, but we're the strongest nation. We have the best uterus, the best prostates, we have the best breasts, mammary glands, thyroid gland, the glandular system, our saliva gland, our adrenal gland. It makes us better runners. It makes us better producers, music, arts, crafts, football, baseball, tennis, ice skating. We dominate in everything we do.
Wow.
So they know this. We don't know it. So we're lacking. God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. We are his people. He didn't tell
Yes.
us to go get anybody but us. So if us don't know who us are, your confidence has great recompense and reward. The reward has been stolen. And when they take your ovary, why? When they go between your legs, and what are they looking for? When
Yeah.
these instruments, what are they doing? I think it's a perversion I think it's nasty. I think it's rape. I think it's an assault with a deadly weapon. I think it's a violation of women to do a pap smear. You don't need it. Your great 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 grandmother never did that. She didn't do C-section. She didn't take multivitamins and B's and Centrums and women's 1-a-day. She didn't do that.
Wow. This is so powerful. And the more I speak with you, the more I learn, the more eager I am to learn and just, change my way of living, my way of thinking. And it goes back to what we've been saying, nutrition and then lack of information. And that's one thing that I can say that I love about you. You are not, against sharing information and making sure that our people get the information that we need. So can you please tell everyone where they can reach you, how they can reach you? I know I have a host of people who can't wait to meet you this weekend. And for anyone who's interested in meeting with Dr. Lamar this weekend, definitely, he's going to give out his information. Definitely reach out to him so he can schedule some examinations for you guys.
Okay, so you can reach me on social media at Dynamic Health Solution. Dynamic Health Solution. You can reach me by phone direct at 424-274-2016. I'll say it again.
Yeah. After the phone stops ringing.
All right. It's gonna be 424.
Go ahead and give it again, and then I'll also put it in the chat if I can.
Okay, it's gonna be 424-274-2016. 424-274-2016.
Okay, I just posted the number. And what's the social media? You said Dynamic?
Yeah, Dynamic Health Solutions. And they can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Dynamic Health Solutions. You can find me on YouTube, Realist Health Coach. Just Google my name, Lamar Price, and they can find me. All roads lead to me.
Thank you so much. As always, we never have enough time, and we should never get tired of learning. I so appreciate you. I can't wait to see you this weekend. I told my folks, come with a pen and pad, come with an open mind, and it's just going to be amazing. So thank you, everyone who continues to support me and follow me. I hope you got some great, insightful information out of this discussion with Dr. Lamar. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can follow me at The Chelley Roy Show on Instagram. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Lamar.
Bye-bye. See you this weekend.
Okay.
Bye-bye.